Sahana vavatu sahanau bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the Lord protect us. May He nourish us. May we acquire the capacity to study and understand the scriptures. May our study be brilliant, and may we not cavil at each other. Om, peace, peace, peace unto us all. Dear brothers and sisters, loving Sai Ram to all of you. We welcome everyone to the Sri Sathya Sai Baba Center of Arcadia. And now we are going to have the study circle and we'll continue on Gita Vahini, the Swami's commentary on Bhagavad Gita, the dialogue between Lord Krishna and Arjuna. So we are on the soft copy, if you received, on page 55, chapter 12, page 55. And if you have a hard copy, printed one, is page 110, chapter 12, page 110. So last week we discussed some important points. So it's always everything we hear. So three important things we should remember in anything in life. As our the ancient seers, thousands of years ago said, Ravanam, next Mananam, Nididhyasana. Otherwise, if you just listen, then it goes as Swami says 1 year and goes to the other year, just never register. But second aspect is Mananam, contemplation is important. Think about it, ruminate, because the same thing, there is one thing interesting about spiritual things, over course of swimming, even my lifetime, I can say when I was studying as a child in a college, same words, the Lord Krishna's word, it makes different meaning because depending on your own spiritual evolvement. That is very important, so that contemplation. And the most important is nididhyasana, putting into practice. So there, Sri Ramakrishna is a beautiful example. We all eat, right? We all like to eat. So first eating is Shravanam, listening. But you eat, but you don't digest well, no good mananam. You need to digest. Otherwise, you will have indigestion. You may have so much information, but no use. You need to have digestion. And even if you after digest, final thing is assimilate. It should become part of you. That is your blood, muscles, fat. It is part. Then it is really gives you strength. So that is why whenever we have this, it is not a passive reading like a fiction. Spiritual thing is you need to recollect, same thing again and again. That's why that's called punascharana in spirituality. Go on repeating. It may be looking boring for people, but it's recommended by all the great masters. And last week, the important point Swami made, and Lord Krishna, this is everything Swami beautifully followed the Bhagavad Gita. Last week, actually, what is chapter 7, sloka 11. That is what Swami gave the commentary. Each one sloka, and Swami gives the beautiful commentary. There he said, the greatest strength is Daiva Balam. He said in Sanskrit, we all have Deha Balam, physical strength, right? It is needed. So you want to lift some weight, things, people have the physical strength to endure anything. So that is one strength. Next strength you need is buddhi balams, intellectual strength, scholarship, or knowledge. And third is manobalam, willpower. So I want to do some people are very intelligent, but they don't have the willpower. You should have manobalam. And next one is you should have dhanabalam. You should have wealth. You may have everything, but if you are poor, you don't know your next meal, where it is coming from. It is not that easy. That's why Swami Vivekananda said, don't speak Vedanta to a person who is hungry, give him a piece of bread. So the next is the Dhana Balam. And then other balam is jana balam. That means anything you want to do, you're at home, you need cooperation from other people, you need people. And at work, you need cooperation. In the organization, you need. So you need jana balam. But Swami said, you may have all these balam, but it's useless without daiva balam. The greatest strength you should need is the daiva balam, God's grace, God's strength. Then they make a difference. Without God's will and God's strength, all these are useless. They're all zero. Like greatest example is like Karna. So he was a great hero. He is known for his charity. He was great in archery. He was, but he didn't have the grace of God. That is why, even though such a great hero, he was defeated. And same thing Bhishma. So he has, because he was not on the side of dharma. So always, if at all anything you need to choose in life between the worldly thing and God, you choose God. The greatest example is in Mahabharata, when Lord Krishna was there before the war, both Duryodhana go to Lord Krishna and Arjuna goes. First, Duryodhana goes and just sits at the head of Lord Krishna. And Arjuna was humble, he sits at the feet. Lord Krishna, he acts sleeping, but he knows who came first. So, but he wants, so as soon as he got up, he sees Arjuna, oh, you have come, so what do you want? Right, he plays games. Then this guy Duryodhana says, hey, I came before him. Because he was sitting at the head. So when you get up, you see somebody sitting at the feet, not at the head. No, no, I know you came first, but I saw him first. Lord Krishna says, plays a game. So, but then he feels jealous. You see, he's always partial towards Pandavas. But Krishna wanted to show. So then he says, this one was at the head. So I saw you first. You asked, you have the choice to choose. What do you want? I have two choices. One is, I will give all my army, his army of Lord Krishna. And I have everything, whatever I have, all these astras, the weapons, instruments, everything I will give it to you. That is one hand. Next one is only me. I won't even take an instrument. I won't even take up any weapon. I just will be able to stand by. That's all. You can choose either of them. So this guy is bubbling. My God, hope Arjuna doesn't choose his army and all that, and I will be gone. Then that Arjuna, he's such a great devotee, not only a friend of Lord, he says, no, I don't want anything. Just I want you. If you are on my side, I don't need anything else. Even though you may not take a weapon, it doesn't matter. This guy says, okay, what can I do? Anyway, I have left behind with the army, I will take it. He was very happy that Arjuna, he thought he made a foolish choice, choosing the Lord Krishna, who doesn't even take a weapon. And you know what happened? So wherever there is Lord Krishna, the success ultimately Arjuna wins. So this show in life, you always give priority to God. If you have to choose between the world and God, always people who choose God, they will be happy, successful, and peaceful. That is the lessons. That is why all this is too good to have. We need money, we need physical strength, we need intellectual strength, we need people. But first, if you have God's grace, everything. As well, Lord Jesus said, what did he say? Seek ye the kingdom of God, and everything shall be added unto you. So if you have the kingdom of God, everything will be good. So that is one important point last week we discussed. And then also Swami says, and here also Lord Krishna, same both Sai Krishna and Sri Krishna, that it is okay to have desires, but that desire should be on the basis of dharma. This dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamos. We should not have any desires which are against dharma. That means selfish desires for your own aggrandizement or for your own selfishness. You should think, how does it help people at large? So that is thing. And second thing is, he said you should not have too much attachment even to what you have. So beautifully Swami said, the desire to possess a thing that even though you cannot get it, you still have that hankering, that strong desire that is bad. So that means it is a bad vasana. And also you should have now attachment to whatever you possess. These 2 points you should always be careful and remember that. And another thing Swami said is, anything you can have, but if you give up these two, even if you have desire, it's okay. And even if you have to have anger, it's okay as long as it takes you towards God. Anything which takes you away from God is bad. But anything, even anger, I just, why I'm not progressing spiritually, you should be angry about yourself. Why I'm not conquering my 6 vices. That is good. But you not to be angry at other people and other things. So, but spirituality, bhakti is different. There's 3 people merged with God through enmity, right? There is Shishupala and Ravanasura and Hiranyakashipu. Even though they were bad people, because constantly they were thinking of God, because they hated him so much. Somebody more than whom you like, somebody whom you hate, that comes to you much more often in your thoughts than others. So that is called Vaira Bhakti, because there are different types of Bhakti. Gopikas, they had love for Lord Krishna. That is, and then people, Arjuna and Kuchela, they had friendship feeling. They had friendship Bhakti. Like Hanuman, he had Dasya Bhakti, think he was the servant of the Lord. And these people like Kamsa, Shishupala, and Dantavaktra, Hiranya Kashipu, and then Ravana. So even with that, at the time of death, they go and merge with the Lord Krishna. That is what Dharmaraj says. How is it happens? But they are good souls in the past, but because of their bad karma, they are born like that. We talked about that story last time. So, but main thing is somehow or other, constant remembrance of Him, some way connect to God. That is what the another point that was made. So now we will continue on page 110, says, which starts with the Lord Himself declared. So there you can start. Page 110.
Sairam. The Lord Himself declared, Arjuna, all this originated from me, all this exists in me, but I am not dependent on all of this. Remember, I'm unattached to all this. Here, there are 2 points of view, the Jiva point of view and the Lord's point of view. The Jiva has the dual experience of good and bad. The Lord has no duality at all. When all is God, when God is the inner Atma in all, how can there be 2, one good and the other another bad? No ordinary folk may get some doubts on this point. The Lord says that all things, both good and bad, originated from Him, and that He is the prime cause. But at the same time, He declares that He is neither bound nor affected by the effects or defects of all that has thus originated. He says He has no relationship with them and that He's above and beyond that of which He is the cause. You might infer that man too is not in the least responsible for the good and the evil that is done through him by the divine, that his real nature is beyond both good and evil, that his acts, however evil, were basically prompted by the Lord Himself. For man has nothing he can claim as his act. True, but faith in this attitude that nothing is done by you, that it is all Lord's will that is being worked through you, must be steady, sincere, deep, and unshaken. There should be no trace of ego. If there is so, then certainly such a one has attained the highest goal of life, is blessed to the uttermost. That reality has to be known. that knowledge has to be stabilized. Indeed, he who has the conviction that all this is God, that he has no sort of relationship or kinship with the objective world, that he is above and beyond it, it is the Satyajivi, the individual whose sojourn here has been worthwhile. Just wanted to stop here.
Okay,
yeah.
good.
Before even a prior paragraph from last week, one thing I wanted to bring up is here Krishna says the higher self, that's the all that's higher is me, and also even the lower para prakriti and apara prakriti, both are me. So that means here, before we go in, so that means that the sattvic guna, rajasic and tamasic, doing all the bad things, all that is all God. So and here there are 2 points of view was brought up. For Jiva, the dual experience is because I think we're in this transactional world. That's why that dual experience, we have to think about it in a transactional world. But for God, Paramatma, since he's the base, also I think he said somewhere, I think the base, the adhishtanam, that's why for the whole universe, for even in the past he said for panchabhutas, for everything is God, Brahman. But that has to be established. It's not just saying it, but it has to be steady, sincere, deep, unshaken faith in it.
Anyway, I think we should have clarity this here. What everything came from God. So God is the originator, and everything is sustained in Him. Everything dissolves in Him, right? That is why God, God, G generator is the Brahman or the creation of everything. O operator runs everything. D destroyer. So everything is in God. So in which case, when everything comes from God, there is nothing but God. We should remember this book is God, this watch is God, that camera is God, everything. There is nothing, carpet is God, and there is nothing but God. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. That is the ultimate statement. But are we able to experience that all the time? No, right? We think you are separate, I am separate, this is separate, that is good, that is sewage water, this is Ganges water we like with sewage water we don't. So always we see the difference. So ultimate truth is everything is divine, because everything has come from God, automatically it has to be God. And second thing he says, there is nothing good, nothing bad, because everything is Him. So how can you say something is good and something is bad? So these are but they are the fundamental truths, but we need to experience them. Till then, that's why Swami here beautifully said, the individual self, that is for God, because he is in that establishment of non-dual state, abheda darshanam jnanam. Till we experience that non-dual state, we will see the duality. We will see something good, something bad, something beautiful, something ugly, something tall. All the things will be happening. So that is the nature. So as long as we have duality, that is till we reach the abheda darshanam. That is why ultimate knowledge is Abheda darshanam jnanam, Advaita darshanam, seeing only one. As Swami said, dual mind is half blind. So as long as we see duality, and we all see duality, so the whole purpose of practices is to go beyond duality, so that we experience only that Advaita, only that oneness. But Swami wants, this is called Vacha Vedantam. He says, oh, everything is good, so through me it works. You bad things. Yeah, God is working through me, so it is Him. So that is why Swami was telling a nice example. So then one guy killed somebody. They took him. yeah, who God motivated through me and he did it, so it is his responsibility. The judge said, yeah, that you are right. So God motivated me to put you to death sentence. So just that guy thought he will get away from that. So he doesn't have that feeling. He should have that feeling. And another example, Sri Ramakrishna gave. One guy was um, learning from his teacher, everything is Brahman. So he was going and there is a wild elephant and the Mahout was there. He was telling everybody, no, no, just get out of the way, got out of the way. This guy said, yeah, everything is Brahman. So, and he stood in that, and that the elephant took and threw him out like that. Then he told his guru, you are wrong, everything is Brahman. That kid, hey, that elephant is Brahman, but the Mahut also is Brahman. He told you to get away. So just people conveniently, they don't have a clear concept. They use it. So you should really have conviction that everything is God. Till you get that conviction, don't say that. So that's called experiential Vedanta versus Vacha Vedanta. It comes from your information, from your knowledge, but not really true. This is what Swami wants. So just you only when you experience, you say everything is by God's will. There are people like that. I know even the recent times, few not even 100 years ago, Ramdas of Kanangad, he's from South India. So he was such a man, always Rama, Rama, he used to live. So one time, so his room, somebody came, these thieves, they took away things from his thing, that his disciples got mad. So all these people, oh, Rama came and Rama took away. He's smiling. He didn't bother him at all. They were upset. Then next day, somebody, those guys repented or whatever it is. They brought them back and gave. So Rama brought it back and gave it to me. So everything is thing. And another story, Sri Ramakrishna said, one monk was going, and he was going, and then some ruffians, they beat him up. So yeah. And then somebody came and said, oh my God, this man is such a holy man. He was beaten up. They came and helped him, and then he regained his consciousness. Then he says, who beat you? The God who get. Then who saved you? The same God. So same God, that experience, everything it happens that he is the one who creates trouble. He is the one who solves that experience. Swami himself says, indeed, he who has the conviction that all is God is not easy. That is why in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna, we said that Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid jayatati siddhaye yatatamapi siddhanam. Good, this boy is good. That is why I wanted this thing. So there are many people, billions of people, of them handful just are interested to know the truth. So, yatatam siddhanam kaschinmam veti tata. Really, people who know me, of them, of these people who are interested, very handful of people know that. What do they know? Vasudeva sarvamiti sam mahatma sudurlabha. Durlabha means very hard to find. Sudurlabha means God himself, very, very hard to find. Who? Vasudeva Sarmati. Everything is Brahman, everything is God. Those people are very, very difficult to find. You may say that, to say is not difficult, very, very difficult, he says. But it can be done. There are people who have experienced that even of recent times, who saw everything is nothing but divine. They don't, in which case you go beyond the likes and dislikes. They're always in a state of bliss. For them, there's nothing good, nothing bad. But till we really experience that, we cannot practice that. Oh, what is there? Good company, bad company, everything is God. But if you get into that, you are not on that stage, bad company, you will become bad. So that is why it is a delicate balance. Till you reach that stage, as Swami gave a good example on that tree, small sapling. So then you give you should put a nice fence around. Otherwise, these little goats, cows, they will come and eat away that, right? You need a protection, same thing. But once it becomes a huge banyan tree, huge tree, the same goats and cows will come and sleep on the shade of the tree. Similarly, when we are spiritually, a little spark is there, you don't want to choke it with bad company, bad thoughts, bad sight, seeing bad things, hearing bad things, speaking. And so that's very important. But once you become spiritual Jain, nothing bothers you. You yourself can give solace to others. They're like great masters, great saints, avatars, sages. For them, good and bad is, that is why Jesus, when that Matthew, the tax collector, he said, they were everybody critical. How could you do a tax collector? He's such a bad guy. He was, for him, everybody says, healthy people don't need a physician, sick people. So he needed it. And same thing, Sri Ramakrishna did that. And Swami, people criticize, oh, he has all the politicians going, liquor barons go to him. And Swami says, for everybody needs peace. People look at the money, oh, he has money, why do you need? But peace they don't have. So what they don't have, God is there to give. So God is for all people. But this we cannot use. We in the beginning stages, till you reach that stage, you discriminate. Once you are aware that everything is divine, then nothing matters. So here this is important point. He said, it is all the Lord's will that is being worked through me, which is true, but there should be experience, not just verbal thing. This is important point. Anybody has any comments, questions on this?
The whole thing that the experience is there for everybody, Sachidananda Swarupam, but the awareness is not there, is what many times I even see some Swami's discourses as well. Awareness, the awareness is not there. So that is another thing that you always quote another sloka from Bhagavad Gita, 12th chapter, Klesham adhikatarsteshtam avyakta sakta chetasam avyakta hi katirdukkam devam. So unless the body consciousness goes, you will be still. So how does that body consciousness go away? That is the point that everybody is in this. We all do sadhana to get the point. Body consciousness, oh, there is a path, how do I get it away? First thing is that we have to go on doing it, whether it goes, we are not looking for, okay, it will go away or do or let's go on doing what Swami says. Then that itself will be at a point we ourselves don't know that it is happening, but Swami will give that. By his grace it will be, Swami will take it away. That body consciousness will go away, because it's not just forcing ourselves that body consciousness will go away, because people are talking about that, oh, how do I get there? We cannot get there. We just go on doing it, what Swami says. That is the most important.
That is important. You need to start somewhere. Don't put, like somebody said, oh, I want to swim in the ocean, but when there are no waves, how can it happen? You need to jump in. So just to start learning swimming. So we can't procrastinate. We need to start and proceed, and then the grace of God will come. That is why Swami repeatedly said, Yatna prayatnamu manav dharmam. That means effort, and sincere effort, hard effort is our duty. So we need to go on doing that. Then automatically we progress. Because there are two paths, as we were telling with you, another thing. Swami emphasizes Advaita path, right? And also there is a Bhakti path, where God is separate, we do the bhajan, singing, oh Swami, me. That is the beginning stage. But ultimately everything is Swami. That has to be Swami himself, that you should have that thing. Otherwise, you never reach the goal. So for that, you need to have this continuous effort. But he says, Lord Krishna, Arjuna is represents all of us. He says, which is better? Worshipping God with form, Avyakta, or worshipping God without form? He himself asked on our behalf. Everybody has this Dvaita, Advaita. He says, both are good. Lord Krishna didn't say both are good, but you should have faith in whatever you do, absolute faith and sincere effort, you will reach the goal. But he said, of the two paths, he says, kleshodhikarastesham. Klesha means very hard. Adhikataram means very hard. Tamam means very, very, very hard. So he says, this formless thing, Advaita, is hard. But if you can reach it, but see things, you need to have credentials. Like before you go to PhD or become surgeon, you need a credential. Go through. Similarly, to get this Advaita, I am God, not but God, we sing the song. is Sanniyam Indriya Grama. We should verify whether we have the credentials. Complete mastery of all your senses. So you want to eat nice gulab jam, you should not have the temptation. You have it, but you just to be able to control, or just something, sense enjoyments. Complete mastery of the senses. You can enjoy, but you should have mastery. Sanniyam Indriya Gram is first qualification. Complete mastery. You should think. Second is Sarvatra Samabuddhaya. In all situations, heat, cold, success, failure, and praise, blame, in everything, you should have equal mindedness. Are we equal minded? And third is Sarva Bhuta Hiterataha. We should think about the good of all beings, not just human beings. Even human beings, some who hate, some we love, that is not good. Should have love for all humans, all animals, even you can't hate lizards, snakes, or tigers, everything. Sarva bhuta hitera. You should think, love all, and hita, they should try to help them all. There are saints like that. So if you meet those three qualifications, Lord Krishna says, yeah, you are ready for Advaitic thing. So that's why we don't get discouraged, but try to develop this, then we are ready for realizing. But meanwhile, as long as you have body consciousness, we have this path of devotion where you develop that attitude, worship God, you try to develop the relation of friendship, servitude, and worship. Then you are coming closer to God. So as soon as go on doing this, then you will reach that stage. First, that is why it said, there are two friends, it appears. One is believes in Dvaita, Dasoham, Dasoham. Hey, we can't do that. So I am the servant of God. Dasoham means I am the servant of God. The other believes I am God. So this guy writes in the thing Dasoham. This guy removes the Da. Then he says Soham, I am God. That guy gets inflation. Then he puts Dasoham, Dasa Dasoham. That means I am servant of the servant. He puts Sa in front of it. Sada Sada Soham. That means I am always servant. So this competition goes, but you need to realize that you are that. So both are there. Go on being servant attitude. Sri Ramakrishna beautifully said, God will take away the Da. Then you'll realize you're God. But first, your body consciousness, he said, you should have that attitude of servant. Naham na, his famous thing, Naham Naham, Tuhu Tuhu. Not me, thou, thou. So you go on saying that. The stage will come when he will make you see everything. Like Gopikas, they loved Krishna in the Dvaita Bhava as their beloved, but ultimately they could see everywhere nothing but Lord Krishna itself. That is Advaita. They could see their beloved everywhere. So that is the ultimate thing. So here the lesson for us is that to achieve that highest goal, so we need to constantly contemplate and do that.
So,
Yeah.
Sairam, so to self-evaluate, to see, even to body consciousness or the to see the oneness. I think the fundamental thing, I think Swami says later, your thought, word, and deed has to align. And also, as you just said, it doesn't matter what crisis comes, you have to stand on the truth, the right side.
That's very important point you made. This is Swami emphasized Trikarana Shuddhi. That means alignment of thought, word, and deed. That means somebody was telling, oh, that means I think bad and say bad and do bad. That is also alignment. That is why Trikarana Shuddhi, pure. That means you think pure thoughts, you say pure words, and you do pure deed. It should be all aligned. That is then it is the essential requirement of spiritual progress. That is why people take casually talk about, oh, I will see you tomorrow. For me, because after reading Sri Ramakrishna, I was very careful. You tell somebody, I will come to your house. Then suddenly forgot about it. And then night, remember suddenly those days they didn't have electricity in India. 10 o'clock or something like that, remembers, When he takes, say, has somebody with a lantern, go to their house. He doesn't want to wake them up at that time. Goes and touches their house and goes away. Because he gave a word, I will come to your house. He want to keep up the word. It's so particular, whatever the words you say, you should mean it. Sometimes we are so casual, I will say that, I'll give you this, but they don't keep up the words. That is very, if you're really a man of truth, which is Swami says, is Sathya Bodhaka, we need to keep. Otherwise, don't say anything, but keeping our word is, that is why people give a great example. Satya Harishchandra, he gave away his kingdom, his family, wife, and that is why he was remembered as an emperor forever for people for sticking to the truth. That is why, and Swami, all these people, they're very particular, sticking to the truth, and you should not take casual about whatever words we say. Otherwise, better you don't say it. It is becoming more and more, people don't value their own words, just to please that person, to make them. There is another confusion. Speak obligingly. Just for speak obligingly doesn't mean you tell untruth. Speak obligingly, don't hurt people on your words. It doesn't mean you try to make you tell lies or you are this. And it's very important. So this thing, Trikaran Shuddhi, that what you think, what you do. And actually, Swami Brahman, the great saint, he used to say, if you do that for 12 years, whatever you say and think becomes truth. Sometimes they get that your words get so much power because you stuck to truth. So that is very important. That itself is the greatest austerity. Swami says, all chances sticking to the truth. So each one of us, we should practice that every time. So just stick to truth. That is a good point.
Words, however, are futile. You may repeat like a parrot which has been taught for long certain set phrases like everything is the Lord's, I am but a puppet. He pulls the strings and I dance as he wills. Nothing is mine. I'm just carrying out his will. But what do you usually do? When a praiseworthy act is done, you claim it to be your own. When a blameworthy act is done, you ascribe it to the prompting of Lord. You shout from platforms till your throats get dry that you won by your own effort. Honor, fame, status, standards, and authority and position, property and possessions, attainments and achievements. But when it comes to confessing your share in earning all fame and defeat, evil and wrong, you conveniently transfer the responsibility to the Lord, saying, I am but an instrument in his hands. He's the master. I'm but a tool. This has become the habit of man today. Now it has developed into a fashion. People swing from I to he like the pendulum of the clock. This is sheer deceit, hollow spiritual sham. Mind, word, and act, all three must be filled with the belief that all is his play. That is the genuine path. It is a human frailty to separate things as good and as evil. To impute this to God is sacrilege. It might appear sometimes that the Lord too has that weakness, but it is a passing phase, a cloud that hides his glory, not a blemish that adheres to him. Through gunas emanate from the God. Though gunas emanate from the God, he is unaffected. Smoke arises from fire, but fire is unaffected. Clouds form in the sky and move about in the sky, but the sky is unaffected by them. All are attached to him like beads, but he's free, unaffected. The universe is based on him, but he has no need for the universe as base. Take the example of cloth. Cloth is based on yarn. It is dependent on yarn. But yarn doesn't depend on cloth. It is unaffected, unattached to cloth. The pot depends on clay, but clay is independent. Again, cloth is yarn, pot is clay is Brahman. The pot is Prakriti. Yarn is Brahman, cloth is Prakriti. The universe of Namarupa of manifold variety. Ignore the shape, the form, and the name. The pot is just clay. Ignore the form of cloth and the name. Observe the basic thing that stays in and through the cloth. Then you know it is but yarn. Without clay, you can have no part. Without yarn, there can be no cloth. So too, without Brahman, there can be no Prakriti. It is truer to say that all is Brahman than to say Brahman is in everything. It is grandeur in picture Brahman as Sarva Adhara, the basis of all, rather than to conceive it. It is Sarvabhuta Antaratma. Sarvabhuta Antaratma. The inner reality of all beings. That is the truth. Here, I think Swami went through all examples of the cloth and yarn and the clay and the pot. But I think before he pointed out so many things we find excuses to say whenever it's convenient. And also the other thing here I wanted to bring up, I think in our Puranas and epic stories, there are so many kind of conflicting, paradoxical statements. It seems like we make excuse to say half truth. Because in that story, that's how it said. So we interpret so conveniently. I think once we overcome that paradoxical statements, understand clearly, that's when I think we move towards the truth. Here he gave so many examples.
That's true. Actually, the whole thing is these are all clear concepts in Vedanta.
Right.
What all we experience, that in the wakeful state, dream, deep sleep, or beyond, they're only composed of 5 things. What is it? Nama, Rupa, and Sat, Chit, Ananda. So, that is the ultimate truth is last 3, Sat, Chit, Ananda. So, but most of us are deluded by this Nama Rupa, right? But all morning we see this name, that form, you go to office, you go to in the organization, you go to work, in the society. The whole thing we're countered always with name and form, people and all that. But in that process, we ultimately forget the real truth, which is Satchidananda, knowledge, existence, and bliss. That means we have to go beyond the name and form. But you should remember, everything came from him. Ultimately, in the thing, para prakriti, apara prakriti, everything from God. That's why these 3 gunas, the whole universe is composed of these 3 gunas. We are also every day tamas, rajas, and sattvic. So tamas is inertia, slothfulness, laziness. Rajasics always want to be active, and which is good. And ultimately, sattvic, which is serene. But the real truth is beyond 3 gunas. That is what Lord Krishna says in the beginning itself. Traigunya Vishaya Veda. The Vedas are in the realm of 3 gunas. But he says, Nistraigunya Bhava Arjuna. He says, Arjuna, but you should go beyond the 3 gunas. If you want to know the truth, yes, these Vedas help you. So go on chanting the Vedas. Ultimately, you will become, instead of tamasic, you will become rajasic. Then ultimately, you will become sattvic, serene, tranquil, good. But the ultimate truth is beyond all these 3 gunas. So that is you should have a clarity. That means it is beyond name, form, everything. So that is what you should remember. But how do you do that? He gave the answer. So then we'll have to close after this. Daivi Hesha Gunamayi, that is, it's connected. Mama Maya Duratyeya. Mameva ye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. This is like my mantra for me. This whole thing, this world is like a maya because of these three guna. Three guna. Daivishya gunamai mama maya. My maya, he says, we composed of all these gunas. That is why we are all deluded morning to evening in this maya. Where did the maya come from? Him. Daivi Shesha. This is my maya, he says. It came my maya. Then how do you conquer this maya? Each second he gives the answer. Mameva ye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. Only way you can conquer this maya is complete surrender to me. That's why beautifully said when the guy, a fisherman, he's throwing the net, the fish are all caught. But the fish which are at the feet of him, they are not caught because they are at his feet. Only the the net catches the fish away from him. So where it is under his, similarly you are at the feet of the Lord, surrender to him, hold on to him, then Maya won't affect you. But you are away from that, then you are caught. And this Maya also, you can't, hey, Maya, get out. I want to get it. Won't. Because it is God. Like why Sri Ramakrishna gave a beautiful example. Lord Rama is going in the front, in the forest they were going. He represents supreme divinity, God. Then next to Rama, who is behind? Sita, Mother Sita, who is the embodiment, his consort, and she represents Maya. Who is behind? Lakshmana. He represents us, Jiva. So Jiva, there is God, in between is Maya, Mother, the Sita, and we are the embodied beings. So you want to see Lord Rama. This lady is in between. Okay, get out of my way. I want to see Lord. You can't say that. So Lord Rama will get, this is my concert. Who are you to say? So you should pray, Lord Mother, so just get away from me so that I can have. Similarly, this Maya, you should be careful how to deal. This is a part of the whole, as he said, he repeatedly remember, it is all divine play. You remember it is a drama. So completely surrender. Truly, thine will be done, Lord, not mine. You are that. Then you are not really bothered by Maya. Okay, so we finish the chapter. We'll continue next week. So